start calling the DJ to do gigs. And the singer is left to kind of book him or herself or hopefully find some gigs until, unless they've become really big, then people are looking for them. But what needs to happen is there needs to be a unification, in my opinion, that happens between the DJ/producer and the artist that's singing the song. Mm-hmm. Both parties should be contracted to do the gig because that song is not one person. If I wrote a song and I sang a song and somebody else produced the song, we all need to be going to do this show because we made this song happen. And, it's important that the artist is known. It's important that the artist, that their music is known and heard and that you can put their name and their face together. There's absolutely no marketing, for the artist in house music. For example, my song Torture, if you look at the album cover, and I've had people ask me this many times, they said, Lynn, is that you in the, all bound and gagged on the front cover of the album with the leather panties and bra? And I go, nope, that's not me. And then they go, well, you sound disappointed. I said, yeah, because it should have been. and I laughed because I know I probably would have never donned the outfit, but at the same time I'm going, it should have been because I'm the artist. And so for me, one of my negotiating tools now is if we're going to work together, the marketing has to have my face on it. It's important that people know who this artist is. I will not be obscure and this enigma, this floating voice with no name and no face. It is important that we know our artists. It's important that we know who's creating this music. And what I love about the house music audience is that they research. They go find out. We want to know whose song that is. They go to the DJ and they say, who wrote that? Whose song is that? Who's singing? And they look for that artist. And so that's how I went from having maybe 800 friends on Facebook to over 2,500. They found me. We're going to find this Lynn Lockamy because we like this song. And I appreciate it. I really appreciate the fact that everything I've done, they've paid attention to it, and they've gone back now and they've, picked up the old Hanging On and Love So Strong and Fire from years ago, and they're like, when's the next one coming? So I'm truly grateful for that kind of following. And in my opinion, if you can have that kind of following, there is much more money in this business than you can ever imagine. There's much more validation to the business than we're giving it. If the Backstreet Boys can do Radio City Music Hall and have all of Fifth Avenue blocked off in Manhattan because of the Backstreet Boys, then why can't house music artists inhabit the Radio City Music Hall the same way, have house heads on Sixth Avenue going crazy for them the same way, have the T-shirts, because I intend to have the T-shirts soon, that have the lyrics to your song on the front. Why not? What is the difference between that phenomenal singer doing house music and the phenomenal singer doing R&B or the phenomenal singer doing pop? There is no difference. There's absolutely no difference. So I would like to see that change. I don't want to see house music underground forever. Underground so much so that the world does not know it exists, and so underground that the artist never surfaces. That's just not fair to the artist. So that's one of my concerns, that the face will always be faceless or will always be a floating voice. And it's just not, it makes no sense that the fame will go to the person that's not singing the song. I don't understand that. It's a little confusing to me. Someone sings a song and you don't know that person, but the person spinning the song is famous, and you go, whoa, what happened here? So I just feel like there's room for everyone, and we can share it, and we can do it together, and that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'd like to see happen. So that's my take on it.
Well, and I agree. I remember having a conversation because you got to realize people like idols. People need idols. People like the divas. They need someone they can, I don't want to say worship, but follow.
Look up to, admire, and if they're singers, pattern themselves after, because we all patterned ourselves after someone.
Exactly. And
if you want to hear real singers, you listen into house music, because these singers are throwing down.
Mm-hmm. friends of mine label, and they had I'm not gonna say any names, but it's a couple of friends of mine. They had a label, and an artist, a female artist, beautiful girl, and could sing her butt off. And I remember we were at a music conference at IHOP late at night, early in the morning. I was like, why don't you guys just fall back, get your producer money, and just put this girl up front? She's gorgeous. You know, she could spell and she can sing. And they just looked at me like I was speaking Chinese. It's like, huh?
You know what the part of the problem is? We, I don't know if it's the proclivity of human beings. I don't know what it is, that we see the short dollar. We want to make the money now.
Right, yeah.
And we can't see long term. We can't see the value of investing and returns coming back later. We want this money now. And so what I find, and this is not just house music, because there are one-hit wonders out there in every genre of music who put out a song and it was a hit and somebody got famous and rich off of it, and then you never see that artist again. And so it's really about collecting the money now. Let me, I put the song out, let me see my money. And there's no concern for whether that artist has a career. People are not building artists for long-term careers anymore. They're kind of, they're building you for whatever hit you can give me now, and then they're looking for someone else to give them another hit.
Just make
and so artists, the burden and the onus is on the artist to actually create your own career, to keep yourself alive, to make yourself a viable force in the industry. And that's the hard part, because you're doing all of your own work. You have to create the song. You have to perform the song. You have to do your own marketing. You're a walking record label.
Exactly.
And then you become what? A jack of all trades, master of none. So that's my concern, that I will not do something well. And that's what I guess worries me the most. I want to be able to cover all my bases fairly well and not have anything suffer, especially not the product suffer in the process. So. Okay.
Well, even though we went over, I really wanted you to get that in. Like I said, we talked Monday, and you were very passionate about that, and I didn't want to end this interview without you getting that out. People need to hear it. Artists need to hear it. The producers need to hear it. The DJs need to hear it. They need to hear it from you.
Yes.
So there
we
you have
singers want to share the spotlight with the DJs. Come on, DJs. Come on. We can't be the voice in the booth, and that's it. There's work to be done, and we want to work with you, and we love you for what you do. And we know you love us for what we do, because you wouldn't keep plugging at us, write the next song. But it's not just about writing that next song and making that quick dollar. It's really about changing the face of the music industry, because it is not pretty out there right now. I don't see my next Aretha Franklin, my next Gladys Knight. They're not looking for her. They're looking for the next thin, skinny, naked girl that they can put out there and go on out there and tap dance, girl, sing. Whether you can sing or not, we'll auto-tune you. Go ahead, make it happen. And, for me, because I have such a rich heritage in music and because I grew up listening to good music and real music, I can't imagine that the best I can offer, the best way I can say this, and this is going to make you laugh, the Oldies But Goodies album that will come out in 10 to 15 years will be, look at that girl with the Daisy Dukes on, look at here, look at here, look at here. Drop it like it's hot. Yes, that is my baby daddy. When I think about some of these songs, I Want Your Love and I Want Your Disease, I mean, it's like, wow, come on. I'm all for entertainment, but I was also very much enamored with Midnight Train to Georgia, Daydreaming and I'm Thinking of You, One Moment in Time. When I look at the music that will be around 30 years from now, it's Aretha. Aretha is around 40 years. We're looking at her 40, 50 years in, and we're still loving her music. And Gladys Knight sounds like no one else. No one else sounds like Gladys. And I think that's the other tragic crime in music today, is everybody sounds alike. Every artist sounds like the other artist and looks like the other artist.
And auto-tune ain't helping.
Auto-tune. Well, you said the bingo thing. What rang out to me, what you just said, is that when you think of R&B, old school. You have faces to go with the music. You can think of this genre R&B. You see a picture. You can visualize Gladys Knight and hear her voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
The sad thing is, here it is house. When you think of, okay, let's think about house music. Some of the producers and DJs, do we really want to picture them in our heads?
That's all you have. But that's all you are given.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem, because we don't have icons to go with our genre. And if all we have are DJs as our icons, well, DJs don't really dress up. They don't really do themselves up when they go. So
no, and the truth is, what they're doing is interpreting the song by by stopping it in this place and scratching it here, and I love it, but. At the end of the day, that's like me saying, and this is the best way I can explain it. If Picasso painted a painting and we said, well, I really don't care about Picasso. I don't really care what he thinks. But, what I care about is the person who came along with some red paint and threw it on top of the painting that was already there and said, doesn't that make it look better? Somebody threw a little red here and a little purple over there and just embellished, in their minds, embellished the painting or totally changed the painting. We want to know what that person thinks. The person with the can of paint that walked by and threw some red on it. And that's the part that I don't get. You don't care to know about the original art. You don't care to know about the artist who brought about the original song. What you care about is the person who's going to cut the song up. And that's the part I'm not understanding. I think that, at the end of the day, Rihanna's song is going to be cut up. Whitney Houston's song is going to be cut up. Janet Jackson's song is going to be cut up. But we still want to know, what did Janet say before they cut the damn song up? So what did she say? What did she say? What did Whitney sing? What was the original? When you're a real fan, you have the original track. Then you got the cut-up track. You got the 50 remixes. You got it all. In house music, there are so many remixes.
Mm-hmm.
And you get one remix and you're like, well, this is my favorite one, and that's the one you play, but you never heard the original. And I'm a stickler for certain things, so it's so funny. Recently someone called me and said, Lynn, there was a review, and it was negative. It was a review of one of your songs, the latest song, At the Club. And I said, are you serious? I said, it's the #1 download on Trackstar. I said, are you serious? And he said, yeah, you better look at this review. Well, I didn't get the chance to read the review, but I found out where the review came from. And the same day that I got that phone call, I rolled into the record store that did the review. And I said, hey, how y'all doing? And I walked in and I shook a handshake and I said, I heard that your review of At the Club was bad. And they said, well, it's not the song. We just felt like this didn't really fit the voice, and we didn't like this and we didn't like that. And I said, okay. I said, well, did you hear the original? Did you hear the original of Torture? Because you didn't like this and you didn't like that. Well, no, we didn't really hear that. And I said, okay, well, this is what I want to do. I want you to listen to the original. Then I want you to listen to all the remixes. But I don't want you to kill the art because you didn't even get to see it all yet. And then I played him another song, something new that he's never heard. And he was like, wow, I like this new one. And I said, thank you. And he said, well, you know what? You're going to force me to go back now and listen to the original Torture. And I said, good, listen to it. And he said, Lynn, thank you for coming because it shows you care. And I said, definitely. It's important. I'm not going to chase every negative. But when I heard this particular thing, I said, well, wait a minute. I don't think he heard the thing right. So I'm going to bring it to you. And I'm glad that I got, the feedback that I got from him. And he's like, as soon as you're done with your next single, could you bring it to us first? And I said, well, thank you. I kind of turned it around a little bit because initially it was like this bad review, and now he's like, when's the next cut? Let me get it. Bring it in, So I'm glad to know, shout out to Dope Jams, that, they're waiting on the next single. I'm going to try to bring it in there and see what we can do.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. We'll get it done.
Well, it was a pleasure having you, Lynn. We went a full 90 minutes, which is great.
Hey.
Beautiful share that you have here.
Thank you.
I want to thank all the callers calling in. Caller from Mississippi, my man, Mr. Hustle. out there in Detroit. Want to thank all the folks who tuned in. Want to thank my man Henry the Man, who was